I love Sega Bass Fishing. This is one of my favorite just leisure games. Sega had an innate ability back in the late mid to late 90s of crafting just fantastic arcade games. They're the games that they really put out during their time just have stood the test of time as far as gameplay, but also just being able to just be fun and always being seeming fresh while some of these games are 20 plus years old now. Games like Virtual On, games like Daytona USA, games like House of the Dead, all those games, Crazy Taxi, all those games came out around that stretch for Sega, and with that success, they put their, I believe is the Nomi board. I may be saying this wrong. It pretty much took that which all these arcade games ran on, and put that into a system they call the Dreamcast. And the Dreamcast is, in my opinion, one of the greatest systems ever released. I am always heartbroken that it did not achieve the success that it should have. It was such a complete game console and had such fantastic games like Sega Bass Fishing. And while I did have this on my Dreamcast, I never had the fishing peripheral. But, while it gives you that more of an immersiveness, it wasn't something that's ever really necessary. Now, one of the things I really found frustrating about this game, and still do, it's part of the charm though, is that you can never really tell how big a fish is until you start reeling him in or it in, and then you see that this one is a pretty big fish. It's an 8 pounder right there. But you can always get a sense of the size of the fish based on how much fight it puts up, how much tension the line constantly has on it. If it's constantly going red or compared to where it's very much yellow all of the time. Now, one of the things about this first level is I love the approximation of the sandy bottom. One of the things I always thought was really cool, and you saw earlier how the lure drags through the sand, and you see the sand actually move with that. The attention to detail, as good as it could get back in the day with this game being an arcade game, was really impressive. And even now, it's amazing to think that this game is 20 plus years old, if not almost 30, and it's still so much fun to play. Now, one of the things I love about Sega in these home releases is that you had unlimited continues. This Daytona, what other game do I have on that's an arcade? I guess Virtual On as well. Those unlimited continues. In a game like this, they were designed to be quarter munchers. So you just pop in another quarter and you would just continue playing on. But obviously you're at home, so you ain't popping in quarters. And to sit and relax and just fish and try to bait the fish is always fun. Reeling in my lure, especially later on with some of the other lures and more specialized lures, really trying to attract the fish. It is such a fun yet relaxing experience. Come on, somebody bite. These fish were acting really skittish. Oh, does he want it? Nope. Is he coming? He's coming. Bite. Nope, he missed it. I don't know how you miss a lure that big, with that big mouth. Time to reel it back in. Let's see if we can catch some more fish. We need about 3 more pounds, a little under that. It's so relaxing. See, now these you can kind of tell these are smaller fish. At least that's the way they look. And then nibbling up, you got a little one. Yeah, he's definitely gonna be a little one. You see the yellow doesn't turn into red. That's how you know it's going to be a little one. It's like 1 pounder, 2 pounder, 2 pounds. Okay, yeah. So I'm almost at my quota. Got a little bit of time bonus there. I always thought this game was very fair, even in the arcade when I played it back in the day. It wasn't as egregious. Now, see, that guy, he just got it right off the bat. He's like, I am hungry. I never thought it was one of those egregious quarter munchers. And I say that about a lot of Sega games. I think that for what they were at the time, the arcade games, though, they were very fair on your pockets, but also they did what they were designed to do, which was extract quarters from you and to get you to continue to play. So now we've reached our weight quota. We're going to the inlet. Now, I don't understand. Like, this inlet always seems like it reminded me of like a dam at a nuclear power plant or something like that. It looked too industrial for me to feel like this is what I would think of an inlet in my head. And so I always found it weird. I always expected to find some sort of mutant or mutated fish when I was trying to catch a fish. Now, I think here the fish are a bit bigger, which is why the weight class gets increased. So this is 13 pounds. Here is the weight class. You see, this one's putting up a really big fight. He's fighting me, but I'm getting you into my boat. We're gonna have some bass tonight, baby. Yeah. That wasn't that big, 3 pounder. He put up a big fight for a 3 pounder. Oh, got a special lure. I wonder if this is catch and release. It's considering the lures. I wonder. I'm not a big fisher myself, but I've had enough experience with fishing, catching fish in my life. Oh, this one, I don't think this one's too big either. But he's putting up a big fight as well. Maybe not that big of a fight, but that tail is flipping. I have to say, even now, after all these years, I love the designs of the fish. I love the detail that was put into the fish. Not saying they look photorealistic, but they definitely look very lifelike in their movements and how they act. So it's a pretty decent one, about what, 6 pounds? Oh, that was a 12 pounder? Whoa. I didn't realize that was 12 pounds. Yeah, two fish. I cleared the inlet. Now, the next one is the lodge. Now, this looks like what I would think a lodge would look like. I always wonder if this is during the course of one day. You start out at the creek or whatever, the beginning of the day, go to the inlet during the middle of the day, and this one is more at dusk because I see the sun is going down. It's very much twilight. These fish here are biting right off the bat. You see it's 15 pounds. I believe with this one, it was a lot of small fish in order to get to my goal on here, which sometimes can be a bit frustrating. You always want to go out and land the big boys right off the bat. But for some reason, this one, it's like 2 pounders, 3 pounders, and just inching my way up to make that 15-pound weight requirement to move on to the next stage. One of the things I always liked about the stages, particularly this one with the lodge, is strategically throwing your lure. Because sometimes in some of the areas you can't really see the fish when you're throwing. Like this one, you can see pretty well in the first stage as well. But trying to get it underneath of the docks or right in between the crevices of the shoreline, it's really neat to try to see where the fish actually are and where you would think they would actually be congregating. And also, I liked how the different lures, like this one, stays at the surface. I think that's actually going to impact your fish as well and what fish you catch. Your time's up. Continue again. I don't know why it takes me long to press start, but it's going to really impact the fish you catch. Some of the ones at the bottom, you may be more inclined to catch some of the larger fish because they don't come up to the surface as much. I think because I used this lure on this level, I was catching the smaller fish because those are the ones that are a bit more faster, more nimble, and they'll come up to the surface to uh, get the lure. So there's another fish, like I said, inching away, 1 pounder here, 2 pounder there, 3 pounder there. Right now I'm at 8 pounds. Let's see uh, how much longer it's going to take me. You hear even each lure has different sound effects at times as well, corresponding to what they do. So he's up. We got a bite. Let's go. Like I said, there's always a smaller ones toward the surface with this lure. They just go right at it. They hear that sound, they hear it bobbing in the water, and like it's something to get. Oh, that was a 5 pounder. That was a good one. That now that didn't look too much different or too different from the 3 pounder or even the 2 pounder in the water. So it's interesting how it tells okay what weight this fish is once you actually pull it out. You missed it, buddy. You missed it. You gonna come back and get it? Yep, you did. This one looks pretty big too. Looks like it might be another 3 pounder, if not more. He's definitely giving me tension. He's giving me problems. He is trying to get off. He is not happy whatsoever. Right, left, right, right. That gets annoying after a while. Here we go. Here we go. What size is he? What size? It was a pretty big boy too. Yeah, that was 11 pounder. That was unexpected doing this level, especially after how it had gone so far. So large area is clear. Now is going to the next area, special area, the palace, and you want to catch the super bass. Now I am not sure what the super bass is or if the super bass looks like. Um, Looks different than the other bass. Even on this playthrough, I could not find it. Now, one of the things with the palace, it was very hard finding fish on this one. There were multiple continues that were used on this level just because couldn't find them, and then nothing was biting until the very, very end. But I do like they have the like I said. Now you're at nighttime. You're at night, so you went from uh, dawn to afternoon to twilight. Now you're at dusk, and with that, I love the music. It has kind of like a spooky, macabre theme going, especially with the treasure and the armor underneath. Is anybody in that armor? So yeah, now we got this one. This is after mini continues. We just cut that out. Uh, we get this bad boy in, and you see he's definitely a big boy because he is trying to snap that line with all of his might, and that line tension is constantly in the red. It's very exciting going back and forth with the joystick, trying to make sure the line doesn't snap. What size is it? 18 pounds, boy. That's a big boy right there. So that's it for the palace. You only get one fish. You catch the super bass or you don't. So that's how it works. So that's my best fish of the day. 2 feet 6 inches. Eight. That's a fat boy. To be only 2 feet 6 inches and be 18 plus pounds, that is a big boy. That is a really, really big boy. Let's see where I rank in second place. Okay, so at second place through all of my playthroughs over the years. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So that's actually not my biggest fish. My biggest fish was 19 pounds 6 ounces in the inlet of all places. So here are the closing credits. I It's interesting, and I don't know if you remember or know of the game Seaman. I need to look it up to see how many of the people who worked on this game worked on Seaman, because the way the fish look and even the environments remind me a lot of Seaman and the designs for that game. That's a game I think that would be very interesting if it was brought back out on modern consoles. But of course, a lot of these consoles, well, no, we do have a microphone for our headsets and everything. So it would be very interesting if Sega brought Seaman back out on these modern consoles to add in some different flair with all of the ubiquitous Souls-like and rogue-like games and Metroidvania games. Again, nothing wrong with those games, but having something different to play is definitely amazing. That's why I end up going back to this. It's just different and relaxing, and it's just fun, and I don't have to think about it. So, of course, it's from Sega, and it is one of those things I like to see. I like when they thank you for playing. I like when games thank you. I love when the developers really genuine care the fact that you play this game. And of course, now we finished the arcade mode, and the game is now over.